Welcome to the first interview of our Mondus NFT Gallery YouTube channel. In this episode, we'll be speaking to Natasha Singh, amongst other things, about NFTs versus real art. We hope you enjoy this video. If you do, don't forget to subscribe. And now, let's start. Hi, I'm Zina from Mondus Gallery, and today we will be interviewing Natasha. Natasha is an artist and a therapist from London with Indian heritage and currently living in Portugal. A wild mix of things. Natasha was one of the first artists to exhibit with our gallery, and we are very, very happy and proud to be presenting your art and to be representing you as an artist at the moment. So welcome, Natasha. Thanks for taking some time to do this interview with us.
Thank you, Zina. Thanks for having me.
Could you briefly tell us your history as an artist?
Yeah, so I've always been an artist from a young child. Always very interested in drawing. And my parents were teachers, so there was a lot of paper and drawing materials available. And then, throughout school, art was always my favourite subject. And then after school, I went to art college, and then university, I studied art as well. So, quite a traditional route there.
Absolutely. And what is it that you're working on at the moment?
So at the moment, I'm working on portraits that have evolved from working with a medical herbalist here in Portugal. Her name is Maureen Robertson. She lives here in the Algarve, and she teaches and runs workshops on herbalism. So I've been working with her, and in doing that, my creativity has really been affected. And I've been working on the collection that we have on OpenSea, the Nature Guardian Warriors. And it's a little bit of, I guess, activism around, the climate and how would it be if we connected more to nature and the plants in the way that Maureen teaches. So the portraits are mixed media, acrylic. Sometimes I use plant materials, include them in the work. But for our collection, I was working with the plant calendula, which is a well-known wound healer. So it's used a lot to soothe skin conditions like eczema and any kind of inflammation, soreness, redness. But in working with the plant, I found that it was guiding me to make these portraits that were at first based around like current members of my family, friends, and then it started to perhaps draw me a little bit deeper. And I feel that the nature guardians are that I'm working in the kind of ancestral realm, and
Really, really fascinating. I mean, it's such an interesting approach to art and to painting. So it's a very, very special collection, I think. And behind you have a painting. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so this is eucalyptus leaf, and it's it's in our collection. It's I think it's really interesting to see it is based on one of my family members, but then it really does seem to have this kind of energy of some kind of previous version of ourselves, or an ancestor, or some ancient kind of being. It's one of my favorites.
I totally agree. It's also one of my favorites. I really love the colors, and then you have the eucalyptus leaves, and it sort of seems like you don't see everything clearly. It's like sort of a little bit blurry on the edges, And that makes it, that gives it exactly this kind of past vibe, or this like a bit spiritual vibe. Very nice.
Thank you.
So you said this is the favorite in your collection. Let's talk a little bit about, because as we said already, it's quite an interesting approach to art that you have, and an approach to painting. And this is nothing that you find in the NFT world. It's really, really special. So how come you decided to do NFTs?
Well, I mean, people kept kind of, friends and people that know about the technology kept encouraging me to kind of look into it. And, at first it was a bit overwhelming, and, I'd look at NFTs and think, oh, my work's, not so digital, I hand make everything. But then I started to look into it, speak to people who work in that field, and just started to think maybe it would be, I mean, everything's so new in that space that, I just thought, like, why not explore it? Why not? And then I met you, and it just seemed with your guidance that maybe it was something to experiment with and see. So
nice, very nice. So from an artist point of view, looking at the NFT world, what did you notice, or how is it for you as an artist to be in this NFT world?
I think I'm still finding my feet, but there's so much I feel excited by the kind of, I think there's a way to secure and authenticate work. There's ways to promote widely across the internet, reach out to new audiences and people who might find my work interesting. I think it's a really fresh new space, and why not get involved?
Perfect. Well, we are very happy that you decided to take this step, and it's very brave, especially for traditional artists. I think it's very admirable that you decided to do that. So does that mean that we will be seeing more of your art in the NFT world over the next months or even years?
Yeah, definitely. I have like new collections. I'm always going to be making artwork, so it's a great way to store and show and exhibit online. And it's an adventure, which I'm happy to be on.
Well, thank you so much for giving us some insight into your art world and into your experience as an artist in the NFT world. I'm sure people watching could learn something. And well, maybe you will have to say goodbye to eucalyptus leaf soon, because people are so fascinated with it. Thank you so much for taking time.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me.